Today on game day, we laughed, cried, and cradled with the best. CJ Kirst, the Ivy Samurai, Lucifer's left hand, the big red rocket, whatever tickles your twine as the May Madness begins. How did we get here? Cue the shot clock.
Friday, April 25th. While we guzzled mind erasers in South Boston, BU held off Colgate next door in Alston, 14-12 Terriers.
Do you like dragons? Because Delaware was dragging their sticks over the dragons of Drexel, 16-12.
The Golden Griffiths splitteth past Denver Pios in an unlikely walloping, 18-11 Marquette.
The Richmond Spidermen finish the regular season A-10 play undefeated. They belittle the Bros of St. Joe's, 10-7.
Georgetown freshman took Villanova for ransom. His price, 9 goals, 17-9 Hoyas.
The Hobart Statesmen make a statement, capping off their first multi-win season in the A-10 against the Minutemen, 16-15.
Who, where, what, why, High Point. St. Bonnie's wins 10-9 in a shootout.
The sun never sets in Lafayette. The Leopards wave goodbye to Lehigh, 12-7.
Saturday, April 26th. Redemption for the Bearcats of Binghamton. They beat UVM 12-7.
The Scarlet Knights were not going to lose to Michigan again. Rutgers advances to the Big Ten semifinals, 11-8.
Air Force took on some turbulence with Utah, but landed a W in overtime, 16-15.
Penn State does not give a shit if Hopkins is back or not. Nittany Lions are going to the Big Ten semis, 13-12.
Lemoyne does it for pride, not for the pleasure of a playoff run. 8-7 over Robert Morris in OT.
UNC nothing yet. Petromala makes the JMA Dome the Domsdale Dimmadome, 14-12, heels over Cuse.
Duke proved Virginia a fluke. It was Ben Johnston who dropped the 20th nuke. 10-9 Devils.
Towson beats Hofstra 9-7 in Long Island. Rematch on Thursday in the CAA semis at the Johnny U.
Very nice.
Welcome back. We're just hanging out in the studio, talking ball, talking about everything that's been going on in this crazy world of lacrosse.
Hayden, you're just out west.
I was in Seattle. Went to Mercer Island, played a couple games out there. Great trip. Happy to be home, but it was. I've never been out there, so that was pretty cool.
It's a pretty amazing place, huh?
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Saw kind of everything. Saw Seattle, saw the city, saw the mountains, saw some suburbs, saw some great lacrosse. So it was good.
You were at Pike's Place too, right?
Yep.
You tried your hand at catching a fish.
Yep, I did.
How did that
Dropped
go?
the first one, redeemed myself on the second one. I think the whole world saw it, so at least the whole town of Sudbury saw it. But yeah, no, redemption is a good thing. Everybody deserves a second chance.
Yep.
What'd you guys do this weekend?
I saw you drop that fish, Hayden.
Like, I'm not even kidding you. Probably 50 people have come up to me in the last 3 days.
Oh, you couldn't catch the fish?
Butterfingers.
Whoops, Butterfingers.
You know, I'll get
It looked
next
like a
time,
heavy
though.
fish. It
It was
looked
a
pretty
big
heavy.
fish. I mean, the thing
How much
probably
would you say that
weighed-
weighed?
I don't know. Probably 20 pounds.
It's what they call
Probably
it.
15 pounds. It's a big fish.
And it was slippery.
It was slippery and it was ripped
Slimy.
open. Its guts were flying everywhere.
Nice.
And the guy like hummed it at me.
He did. He had high expectations for you.
I'm not making excuses,
He's
but
like, this kid played in the Division III National Championship. Right? Coming in there for him.
you guys would have dropped it too.
How much coffee did you drink?
A ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle, I don't know if it's like the world capital of coffee, but certainly seemed like it.
I think that's
There's
where
coffee at every turn. I had probably at least 3 coffees a day.
I think that's where Starbucks is from.
Yep, I walked by the original Starbucks. The line was like probably 50 people deep, so
Yeah.
I didn't go in.
Mike, how's Jersey?
Jersey's good, man. I had a low-key weekend, which I hadn't had in a while. I got to sink my teeth into a bunch of games. Didn't leave my couch for 2 days. Exactly what I wanted.
What was your favorite one?
Hobart, but
Yeah.
it would have been even better if they made it. One big win, huge win. Shout out to the boys and congrats to all the seniors on great careers. You know, it's really hard to end on a win in your
Yeah.
career, and they ended on a win.
A lot of drama after that with who was in and who was out of the conference tournament. Eventually, we ended up out of it, but like it wasn't known until hours after that result and all the other results, which was interesting. Well, plowing ahead, here's CJ Kirst. CJ, thanks so much for joining the show, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on.
Of course, so you're in the press box right now above the stadium. Is that right?
Yep, yeah, hanging out, looking over the field right now.
Is there you're using a laptop or your phone?
Laptop, is it glitching out a little bit?
No, can we pick this thing up and can we see the Shokoff Stadium or Shokoff Field?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, let's go.
There we go. The lights just turned off,
From the
but
bar.
Oh no!
Oh, the
you can see it.
sunset.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Those
Yeah,
little
there it
the
is.
light
Nice.
are those suites on the top?
no, it's the parking is right behind there. But
I was gonna say.
Dude,
yeah,
that's
no,
beautiful.
pretty good view.
You guys,
There was
you're
just pouring rain. There's a cool rainbow too.
only in Ithaca. Only in Ithaca.
Yeah, right. Only in Ithaca.
You guys, your bleachers or your seating goes further than any stadium I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I know it does expand, but I feel like when we do play, I guess big games, it feels like it gets pretty packed. So although it does extend a while, I think it's a pretty cool place to play.
How many people could that stadium seat? Because it looks endless, and it's only one side.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure, but graduation that fills up pretty good. There's a couple good photos of we call it the crescent being full. So yeah, for that, and then homecoming football game. Those are the only times I've really ever seen it pretty full.
It's awesome. Well, we're here because we want that thing to be full every time Cornell plays a lacrosse game. So that's our goal being here, and it should be based on what you've done this season. And we're at a point in the year where you guys are getting ready for the Ivy League tournament. You know, a lot of teams' season ended last week. So one conversation we had on the show last week, Zach Cole, St. Joe's alum, brought it up when he called in. We talked about hosting the conference tournament, or if you're going to a neutral site or whatever it is. The Ivy League's odd because sometimes you guys do the 1 seed hosts. Sometimes it's predetermined. Sometimes you play at Columbia for whatever fucking reason that is. But like, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you like hosting, or do you like going somewhere else and like being on kind of a business trip for that tournament? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so we hosted last year and then played at Columbia year before, and so like getting like the experience of going to Columbia, and honestly, like we have a lot of guys in New York City, so getting all those alums to come, like I thought it was pretty cool. Unfortunately, we lost, but playing at a neutral site, I mean, being from New Jersey, having a lot of people there, like I thought that was such a cool atmosphere. Like neutral site, obviously, not going to get the best treatment, unfortunately, but that's kind of where you look at hosting the tournament. You know, I think that's a huge, upside of doing well in the regular season. So, you know, pretty fortunate that we have the opportunity to host, but more importantly, we went away 3 weekends in a row. Not last weekend, but the weeks before that. And, that was a long stretch. So pretty fortunate to be home and not have to go on the bus or anything. Although I'm a huge bus fan of those trips, but but pretty fortunate that we got to host a tournament.
What are you doing on a bus ride? Movie, podcast? What are you doing?
No, I'm a big sleeper and then just listen to music and messing around in the backs. You know, once you first get on, everyone's, in a great mood, just finished practice. We always practice here before we hop on the bus, and then everyone kind of gets in their nap, and then once you wake up, everyone's having a good time and messing around. So yeah, like
is there a certain album you've been throwing on? What's your music taste? Which CJ Kirst listen to?
Oh, that's a good question. Kind of all over the place. I would say more EDM recently. My brother Cole and Colin have a great EDM playlist that they sent me, so that's kind of where I've been listening to majority of my music. And trying to stay there, try not to go anything and do anything crazy with it.
Love it.
That's got to be shared on Spotify. It's got to be a Kirst EDM playlist.
Is this something all you guys bump before the games? You're like, dude, I just added one. Like, I'm in the locker room. This thing's fire. You got to check it out.
I've been seeing your brothers at a lot of games recently. Are they all living in New York, New Jersey? Where are they located, and how are they able to come watch you play every weekend?
Yeah, so Connor lived in Vegas for a bit for the NLL season. He's playing. Unfortunately, they just lost, so they're not in the playoffs anymore. He's in New Jersey. He's got a place in New Jersey with my brothers, Colin and Cole. So they got their own place, literally 20 minutes away from our home. So pretty funny how they just got up and left. My mom wasn't too happy, but and then so Cole plays for Halifax for the Thunderbirds. So they're still in the playoffs. They're doing really well. They're awesome to watch. Huge T-Birds fan. And then Colin has been able to make the trips. He's not coaching on the weekends or anything, so he's been making a lot of trips. And then Cole's been surprising me where he gets on the red eye back or gets up at 6 a.m. to hop on the jet. So he's been put in the effort to come to the games.
That's awesome. The box stuff. Because that's something I think Do you plan on doing professionally, playing box?
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah. When did that start to become part of your game? When did you start getting into that? Because now your brothers are great at it.
Connor got drafted to the Swarm his senior year, and then went and played a season there with his best friend TJ Camizio, Del Barton guy, and Villanova guy. And so that's kind of how like we got introduced. Besides playing like a couple things when we were younger, and then I ended up going up to Canada 2 summers ago, living with one of my Cornell teammates, Andrew Dalton, living in his basement with him, which was awesome. Living in Toronto, and then played for a whole summer, which was a huge commitment, but loved it. And then had the opportunity to play with Team USA this fall, where we won our first silver medal, which was unreal experience. And then, I kind of just fell in love through playing with Connor and watching how much he loves it, and then kind of trickled down between Cole and I, because, we didn't really play it growing up, so it was so new. It was another challenge, I guess. And, I think it's so much fun, and you don't really have to be the fastest guy or the most athletic, but it's crazy watching some of these guys put the ball in the back of net. It's a fun game to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those things where if you really love the game, you just take it on as a new challenge, and it's just a new form to get out there and play. Like, now we're encouraging our LS kids to go play box. Like, you remember John Piatelli?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like he brought box to us to some capacity. Like, he's like, come sign up, come play. Like, him and his brother were studs, and like we had no idea what we were doing, but like just bringing that, introducing box to us, that kind of led us to be like, this is a game we need to preach and get young kids playing.
Did you guys play in that little winter pickup league?
Yeah, we did. We played with John. He was kind of like the ringleader of the whole thing and like organized it all. But that was good competition. Good thing for the winner.
I hate box.
Defenseman try to.
It's too physical.
Yeah.
Dan's fingers are too big.
You mentioned your brothers. So are any of them coaching right now? I think you mentioned Collins coaching.
They're running our own like Kirst Pros Across stuff. So that's kind of what they're putting their time in right.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that.
Yeah,
Like, is that like a training session, or is it like an apparel brand? I've seen you guys have some merch and all that. So what's kind of the story behind that and the goal for it?
It started a couple years ago when I guess Connor and Colin were still in college, and then we realized that I guess it was kind of NIL when it first started. And we realized like, holy cow, we could start doing stuff with our own name, and then just being in New Jersey and realizing how much of an impact we could have on the youth around us, where, we had our little brother Caden, who was still in high school, and we knew all the little kids because he would always be, coaching and being around that youth program. So started with, just training, doing little training lessons and during COVID. And then, we kind of took it into running an Instagram, and, we do 25 days of Laxmas on that, where give a lot of our old gear away, which is pretty epic. And then Colin and Cole are really running KBL like Monday nights training sessions in New Jersey. So Cole bought like a t-shirt printer and is making shirts with the logos on it and giving out his pennies and stuff. So no, it's been a lot of fun, and
That's awesome.
I love doing the coaching and giving out the gear as well. So it's been a great experience.
Yeah, it's really a way to cut out the middleman there. Just buy the printer.
Made in America.
Don't want to deal with
Made
the
in
tariffs. Yeah, exactly. Made in America.
Made in Jersey, baby.
Put
Come
the
on.
flag on the back.
Freaking awesome. That's yeah. Speaking of NIL, how much money are you making? What are they paying?
Before
believe
taxes.
it or not a lot. So nothing crazy.
Yeah, you don't have to get into the details at all.
No.
Like, how does NIL? I mean, is it even like a thing at Cornell? Like, maybe like to a small degree, but does it? Have you seen it play any role in recruiting or anything like that? Has it been like a factor, or has it kind of just been something not really to worry about?
So from my understanding, I guess in the Ivy League, you're not really allowed to have like program funding, I guess I should say.
So would that be, sorry to cut you off. Would that be like scholarship, you mean, like program funding?
So like I can't commit to Cornell and get some money somewhere else, from my understanding. So no, there's kind of, the Ivy League is pretty strict on that. So you can, have brand partnerships. And I'm fortunate enough to have lax.com, which is one of them, where my brother Colin was affiliated with them as well. He works for them. So no, it's a little different in the Ivy League, but no, still a part of the game right now.
It always is. It's always a little different in the Ivy League.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
we could talk about other shit. It's just very interesting. I don't know, because like as an outsider, like I don't know anything. Like, and you're obviously someone that a ton of companies would love to work with. As far as after school and like what you want to do with lacrosse wise, I mean, it's it's almost a guarantee you're going to get drafted pretty high. We'll say that. But do you, like, outside of lacrosse, do you know what you're doing? Do you have any plans yet?
Yeah, so I got a job in New York City working in insurance.
Shocker.
Yeah. Yeah, so got a job working for a company called Sampo. We're fortunate enough to work for a Cornell lacrosse alum, Jake McCulloch. Shout out. He helped me out during the interview process, so I know he would appreciate that. But yeah, no, did an internship last summer for another alum, and had a good experience. Thought I was able to balance playing professional lacrosse and and working a normal job. So that's the goal. Hopefully it goes well.
And is there conversations before you actually start working in your role and of like, hey, here's the expectation for I'm also a professional athlete and I'm also doing this. Is that something you talk about before accepting that job?
Yeah, I try to be as transparent as possible, saying these are kind of the other commitments that I want to have, and they're really very understanding. I was fortunate to talk to a lot of great people. So no, that was a huge part of it because I probably wouldn't have done it if I couldn't play both.
Awesome, congrats, man.
Nice.
The guy who recruited you was like, this guy's going to play pro lax. I'm just letting you know straight out of the gate. If you got a problem, HR, just give me a call. So, yeah. And it also probably helps too. Your brothers have been through it. So you kind of understand, hey, like I expect the balance. Like I know I'm going to be flying out, sort of what your expectation is and communicating that. So I'm sure that definitely helps you have that sort of close circle to help you navigate.
Totally. I probably wouldn't have had an understanding of it at all if they didn't go through it. So my brother Connor's still getting up really early to train to Brooklyn for a real estate meeting and whatnot. So he's still figuring it out too.
Nice. This will switch gears here just to like 2025 Cornell and the team that you're rocking with. You've played with so many good players in the past, like Piatelli, Donville, the list goes on, but like you've played with a ton of studs and like those guys were always a year or two older and like always kind of the leaders in the locker room or, on the field, just like being an upperclassman and all. And now that you're in that position, I guess kind of what would you say about like the 2025 Cornell lacrosse team? How is it different? How does it, keep some of the same things from the past?
For the guys who are my grade, where we got to learn how big of an impact like senior leadership had on the group and, how kind of they ran the team and that, not only were they following what the coaches were saying, but, they had the trust in each other to do whatever it took to win. And I guess this senior class now understood how big of an impact that had on us. And that's kind of what we're carrying with us today. So, those seniors when we were freshmen, John Piatelli, Joe Bartolotto, Chase Erlin, those guys meant so much to us. And, we're, trying to, emulate what they did. Being here, going into the Ivy League tournament, we hope that, we could take it day by day and hopefully continue our success.
What are you chasing? Is it a feeling? Is it the result? Is it to actually get there? To go that far, it feels like you got to be clicking on, and as a team, just on a different level. So I'm just curious, like what it is for you that you're trying to get to.
We've been through a lot, over the past 3 years. Last year specifically being left out of the tournament, that was tough. And just doing this with, like you guys know, playing with your best friends, it means so much more. And you can keep playing and keep having opportunities to practice and stay on campus and keep hanging out. So being a senior and knowing that you only have so many opportunities left, I think that, that's kind of where our mindset has shifted recently. It's a day-by-day process, but, you're doing it because, you not only love the game and you love the guys in the locker room, but you're doing it for something so much bigger than yourself. And, to play on that stage freshman year and not really understand or be mature enough to I guess, understand that you're not just playing in a single game. I'm so fortunate to have those former teammates in my circle now who are still rooting for us. So, hopefully, this team, understands that it's a day-by-day process and that we can keep that up moving forward.
In practice, who do you hate going against the most? Because, like, your offense is prolific. your defense has been very solid this year. You know, you got some of the best of the best.
Yeah, well, first, Walker Wallace, he came in as a goalie. So he's my best friend here. He was Kyle's freshman roommate. And then after, I guess, our freshman year, he was like, hey, I think I could, make an impact as a pole. So, not really taking him too seriously his first couple of years. And, if he makes a play on you, you're like, damn, this guy just start playing the position. So, everyone kind of lets you hear it. So that was kind of the first guy that came to my mind. But then playing against, our close D, Jason Singer, a guy who I don't think he really tries to let me get a step ever during practice. And then the other two guys, Brendan Staub and Matt Dooley, who, they want to make sure that you're feeling their checks, even if you're cutting through the crease. So,
Yep.
Especially Dooley, I hate going off ball on him because he has to make a scene out of it. So,
when you think about just like teammates, best friends, just playing for each other, talk about Mikey Long a little bit. I feel like, being in the situation he is, he's very much the Robin to your Batman. Just love to hear about him and just his preparation and just him as a player in general. Because I feel like sometimes he lives under the shadow of your left hand often. So want to give him some airtime.
I might have to give him Batman. Playing with him since sophomore year of high school. I looked up to him for so much growing up. As a player and as we got into our later days in high school and then coming here to Cornell and playing together. He was just a great leader and a guy that everyone gravitated towards in the locker room. And, I understood that he was not only a great teammate, but just such a great player. And I guess having that success with him in high school and knowing that, he was dominating here as a freshman before he even got here. I knew that he was going to be or have a lot of success here. And he's got like 100 goals, 100 assists. He's just such a balanced player. He's so easy to play off of. And, we've been through a lot together as well. Every time we're home for winter break or this summer, he's always driving the 15 minutes or whatever it is to my house, picking me up, and then we're going to the turf field. So, I never had a car, I guess, at home with all my brothers. So thankfully he was able to pick me up, but, it's been one hell of a ride. And, even with his parents coming every game and going out to dinner with them, it's been a lot. And, it's been a ton of fun. So hopefully we have more opportunities to do that together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. He is like one of the best attackmen in the country, no question about it. And it's like, playing with you, like, having an attack line with that many guys on it, like sometimes I feel like one guy gets overlooked, but if he was on any other team, like, he would be in the conversation for like first team All-American. He's that good. One other question, your coach, Connor Buczyk, it's so rare to see a guy so young have as much experience and success that he does coaching. And I have to think, like, when you're bringing in recruits, they probably love seeing a younger guy as a head coach. I'm someone who can relate to you a little bit more and can kind of be in your shoes because he's been there more recently than a lot of other head coaches. So I guess could you talk about him for a little bit?
Coach Buczyk and Coach Stevens as well. They played here and they graduated not too long ago, and they had a lot of success here, and we're a part of great teams. And just hearing stories from them, they went through the same stuff that we've been through, whether that's in the classroom or on the field. And just knowing that you have those coaches who are running the show, not only been in our shoes and understand what we're going through, but what they say and what they're preaching just means so much more. I think you understand it a little bit better when they've put the jersey on. So that's kind of the first thing that comes to my mind. And then just talking about Coach Buczyk and offensively, I think he's got a ton of trust in his players. So with me specifically, I think he put a lot of trust in me at a young age, and I think all the guys would say the same. Where he wants us to play our game. He loves nothing more drawing up stuff in film and critiquing guys, but understands that, you're the guy out there and you're the guy making the play. So he wants to put you in the best position to succeed, but, he wants to put you in those reps during practice, during certain drills so you can succeed on game day. And, he always keeps it simple. So, we do, a lot of the same drills during our O sessions on the field. And, he never tries to complicate it because he knows that comes with, the extra work you put on yourself. And, he's always put us in the best position to succeed offensively, and he's been great to, bounce off ideas off of as well. So, it's been great going up to his office and talking X's and O's. So it's been great.
My vivid memory of Connor Buczyk is popping his shoulder out for the Boston Cannons, or maybe it was the Atlas. The Atlas, yes, thank you. And coming back in and cannon Cannon 2 goals. Can he still hum it?
Yeah, he can still hum it. Every time before, like in between drills, he'll always tell the goalie, like, hey, one's coming at you. And yeah, he can still let it fly. That's for sure.
That's like, you. Yeah. That's so awesome. Is he like, because he was an assistant coach before he became the head coach, right?
Yeah. He was the OC, I believe. It was when Millman left, I guess, in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's been your head coach all 4 years or
Yes,
5 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha. I think, yeah, before we let you go, I know it's getting late and you got to get ready to go win a conference championship and then a national championship. Brett, we're talking about this interview, what we want to talk about. We keep going back to the idea of the lax rat and just the fact that, we as people running a podcast, like, have no idea what the hell we're doing. Even in this interview, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but we love lacrosse. Like, we just all love lax and we're all here because we love the sport. And I mean, it's just clear in talking to you how much you love this. And I see it too when you play. It's one thing to get fired up when you make a great play and you score a goal and you go nuts and it's kind of like you turn into like a creature for 5 seconds. But like that happens with you when like your teammates make great plays and your defense makes plays and other things happen. Like I see you get more excited for your teammates than even you do for yourself. And I think all that says is like, I am in heaven. Like I love this. I couldn't be doing anything more fun than this. It'd be cool, like for us personally, just to hear you talk about, how much you love lacrosse and how much your love for the sport has actually, helped you find success.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's great. Thank you very much.
Of course, yeah, I practiced that earlier, so glad I nailed it. All right.
Yeah, we went through a full box of Kleenex when we were prepping, but
sorry about that. Go
ahead. No, I think that's a huge part of it. As a young kid, I love nothing more than, going to my brother's games and watching. And I think even going to school and bringing my stick sometimes. And, I never really thought of it as a bad thing. And, I was fortunate enough to have some of my best friends who did it right there with me. So, I was able to convince them to go through it. So, huge shout out to those guys as well. But yeah, I think, as kids get older and you realize, like, I guess for me, like it was the recruiting, in 8th grade where I was like, holy cow, this is really getting serious. I never really thought too much about it. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world playing in front of coaches on the sidelines of a summer tournament. And then, the rule happened and kind of took a huge step back and, realized that, I was still, really small and, I was playing other sports. The lax rat, I guess, kind of came out of me knowing that this was kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to play college lacrosse. I wanted to, play in, an Ivy League tournament game. I wanted to hopefully play in a playoff game. And, I just kind of put everything towards that. And, a huge part of it was my family, playing, for my dad majority of the time growing up, and then, watching my brothers go through it and saw, their friend groups and their teammates and, idolize those guys. And, it just made me fall in love and want to be a part of it as I got older. So, I still idolize my brothers and their friends and their teammates right till this day. With Connor playing on Vegas and with the Cannons with Colin, I think that's the coolest thing in the world. How they get to strap it up every weekend together in the PLL, and then watching Cole, seeing his commitment. He travels to Canada on Wednesday nights for practice, and then travels to wherever on the weekends to go cheer on his teammates and play for Halifax, and then go play for the Redwoods and the PLL. Like, just seeing their commitment and how much time they put into it and, appreciating that, it only motivates me a little bit more. And then, now with my little brother, Caden, seeing how much work he's put in to, get himself to play at Rutgers. It's kind of a part of us at this point, but it all goes back to just, that circle that we have and, the friend groups that we're in all because of the sport. So, and like you said, even now, I guess, cheering on my teammates and stuff, it really just because my best friend is out there getting grabbing a wing, I'm going to try to fire him up to go get the rock so we could go score. So, just trying to do little things like that. No, it's been, I would say my family's probably the biggest part of that lax rat in me.
Yeah. I feel like we were having a debate earlier. Like, I'm coaching Kiff, I'm coaching the youngest Dooley, like he's bought into lax because obviously his brothers are into it, but like, is the lax rat lost? Like, I'm sort of a pessimist in this argument, but like, I feel like the days of like being truly a lax rat, we were like printing out like Duke decals and like putting it on our helmets when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like that stuff, like I just don't see that, and you just can't coach that. So like, I'm curious, like, do you see that? Like, is that a concern? Like, where are the lax rats? Because I think our generation might be the last ones.
Yeah, no, I've had a similar thought before. You know, one of my former teammates, Spencer Wertheim, and then even, you know, Mikey Long, we used to hear songs in the locker room and be like, whose highlight tape is that? Like trying to see if any guys know. And then, you know, you put on a highlight tape in the locker room and, you know, a freshman's like, oh, who's this guy? And you're like, damn, like you've never seen Case Mathias, like Darien highlights. Like,
Great call out.
Wait, you're telling me you weren't drawing Mikey Powell heads with a Sharpies in
exactly.
6th grade?
So,
like what?
Yeah, it's funny stuff like that where you're like, this is, you know, the best part of the game. It's like, that's why I love it. You can joke about it with some of your buddies. So,
was there any Cornell love or fandom when you were a kid?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I came here to like play a tournament in like 6th grade, and I was like, "Holy cow, this place is freezing!" Like, and that was my first memory of Cornell. And then like visiting and you know, spending time with Luca Tria. He was a Del Barton alum, and I visited on a Sunday. And my brothers like kind of warned me. They're like, "Hey, like I don't think you're really getting much out of a Sunday visit like with some of the guys." So I was like, "Oh,
it's a good heads up."
Yeah, I was like, "This is great," but I never really had that like. I never went to a game. I never had any Cornell merch. You know, I guess Lacrosse Unlimited nearby. I don't think they only sold the Big Ten teams and the ACC. So, no, it was kind of wild because, you know, you have my best friend, Mikey Long, was a diehard Cornell fan. His dad played here. He came to every game growing up. Kind of funny how it's night and day like that.
That's awesome.
Hey, you've done that for a lot of kids yourself. So they better have some Cornell merch in there nowadays. That would be a big disappointment.
Yeah. CJ, like last couple quick hitter questions. Outside of lacrosse, is there anything that you love doing? Like, are you a golfer or a skier or anything like that? You got any other hobbies?
Maybe you're artistic. I don't know.
Maybe you're a finger painter. We don't know.
Oh, I really do wish. No, I mean, during the summers, just try to find time, I guess, to go to Jersey Shore with some of my buddies. You know, and that's been a big thing. And, you know, in recent years as I gotten older, but, you know, nothing too out of the ordinary, which is unfortunate to say, because it's like, geez, it's all he cares about.
You're more, CJ. You're more.
The only time you drink is at beer leagues.
Yeah.
Mike, I hope you're still breathing. Sorry, we haven't called on you. You've probably crossed off 5 questions by now, but I'll pass it to you in Jersey.
No, you've touched it all, boys. We're all lax rats, and we all dreamed about, you know, making it to Memorial Day weekend, playing in that game, playing for a national championship. And you got a squad to make it again. You went there your freshman year, like you mentioned. What was that experience like for all of us who were either going to be watching the game in person or on our couch drinking a fucking Modelo on our, you know, just wishing we were there playing in that game. What was that experience like, and what would it mean for you and your squad to finish off your career with a national championship?
Yeah, I think, you know, playing in the Final Four was kind of where it really hit me. You know, playing Rutgers, I was playing my brother. My entire family was making the effort to go to that. And that's where I was like, wow, like this is the coolest stage that there is. Like, this is college cross. Growing up, I think everyone was like, I want to play like in the Final Four. Like, that's where everyone watches Memorial Day. So I thought that was the coolest thing, walking out for the starting lineup and, you know, give my brother a high five. That's kind of where it really hit me, being like, holy cow, you know, you're really playing on the biggest stage. But, you know, even that time in the hotel, hanging out with the guys, and, you know, there's little kids running around because they found out we're in the Cornell, and Maryland was in our hotel too, being like, oh, we're in the Cornell Maryland hotels. Like kids are in the lobby with their sticks, you know, and then the bus ride to the stadium. You know, I think that was one of the cooler memories, you know, seeing all the little kids playing mini sticks, just knowing that, you know, I used to do that, which was pretty crazy. And then, you know, I think the last thing on Memorial Day, where it's when the Jets flew over, that's something, you know, some of my buddies now, you know, they probably say that's one of their favorite Cornell lacrosse memories. So, being a part of that experience and know how much fun and how crazy it was to finally get to that stage. How that's kind of the whole goal of why we're playing and why we want to win and continue what we have here. So hopefully we can be on that stage one more time.
Full body goosebumps.
When you're talking about the Jets, your lip was quivering.
That was awesome. And you'll see, if you're driving in this year, you look in the parking lot, you'll see us with Lax Pennies, mini sticks, and Flow Society shorts.
Yep.
playing Lax. So keep an eye out.
So sunburnt.
Getting ready for the bus.
Yeah.
CJ, thank you so much, man. It means a lot you coming on. Best of luck down the stretch. We'll be watching every second, man.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks to CJ. Push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah. We could have pushed it more, but he's pretty well media trained, if I had to say.
Always finds his left.
It's an entertaining conversation. What can I say, boys?
Yeah. Hear your popcorn out. All right, moving on. We got one more thing to talk about last week. That's our nail gun from last week, and then we're going to dive into every single one of the conference tournaments, what we care about, what we don't care about. First, the last nail gun of the 2025 regular season. Who is it, Michael?
We're going to go with the Lemoyne Dolphins. This past week, I'm sure people saw it over social media, but they clinched the NEC 1 seed. It was a gritty overtime game against Robert Morris at Ted Grant Field, and they will host the tournament at that same field. They're staying up in Syracuse, New York. And at first glance, people will say, yeah, but the NEC is, worse than jumping off your bed onto a floor full of Legos. The NEC is worse than the first time you found out that women poop too, Or some people might say that the NEC is harder to watch than like a full live JoJo Siwa concert. I understand, guys. I get it. But on the other hand, you got to realize that this is Lemoyne's second season as a Division I program. It is their first season in a conference, and they were the regular season champion in their first season in the conference. Yep. And that being said, I would bet that half of their team our Division II recruits were on that team when they were Division II. And they're finding success on the Division I level. And I got to give props to their head coach, Dan Sheehan. He's been there for 28 years, which is very impressive. I didn't know that. 6 national championships on the Division II level. They weathered the storm of year one. A tough conference-less year. They were 3-8, but the culture didn't fluster. They were heading into 2025. Guys stuck with it. They got some better recruits. They stuck with their guys that they have, and they're reaping the rewards of that now. I also got to give a shout out to Zach Delaney. He's a 100%. Starting attackman for them. Hobart alumni, friend of the podcast. All I got to say is go get yourself an NEC championship. Congrats to Lemoyne. Nail gun of the week.
Zach, you will be on this show next week if you guys bring it home.
Mm-hmm.
If not, sorry, buddy, you're dust in the wind. But no, bring it home. It is quite the story, and no one's really going to talk about it. Even if they win the freaking conference, not a lot of people are going to talk about it, because if they win the conference, they're still not in the NCAA tournament, but they are in the conference championships.
Yeah, Mike, I love that pick, and like Dan Sheehan is such a good coach. What he did at Lemoyne when they were D2 was unbelievable. Won 6 national championships, right? They were like a true powerhouse every single year. And to see them make the jump to D1, off the top of my mind, they're the only team that's made that jump in recent memory that has found success and has like actually, been in the conversation to win a conference. Even though it's the NEC, like going from D2 to D1 and being at the top of a conference is a huge accomplishment. And it doesn't happen often.
I guess we don't have a soundbite for this next segment because we've never really done it before. So let's just roll into it, I suppose. If you are a college lacrosse game day fanatic, you remember last year for our first round of the NCAAs, we ranked the games in terms of how excited we were for them. And that's the order in which we talked about them. We are going to do that right now. Is that an Amber Alert?
No.
Okay.
Anyone missing?
Yeah. Good.
I don't think so. Yeah, we're all good.
Good. Awesome.
Are Dartmouth's clothes missing after CJ stripped them down?
It could be.
How's it going, Willie?
Nice job, Willie.
Appreciate that.
There's a lot of good conference ball coming up. A lot of lacrosse is happening currently. A lot of quarterfinals have already taken place, specifically in the Patriot League and also the Big Ten as well, because everyone gets a chance at the Big Ten. Don't you love how inclusive the Big Ten is? Everyone gets a shot.
I love it.
I don't care if you suck. Rutgers. You get a chance at winning the big. Mike, we'll start with you. What are you least excited for this weekend?
Start with the NEC.
Next, least excited to watch is the ASUN.
ASUN ball. Third.
Next would be the MAC.
For the American East.
American East. Mike.
CAA.
I'll probably go the Big East.
The Big East. Okay. Next one. Mike.
A10.
Hayden.
Ivy League.
Wow. Mike.
Patriot League.
So now we're just between the ACC and the Big Ten. I mean, this is an impossible question, but let's go with the ACC because there's no automatic qualifier.
I agree.
I like it.
I agree. That leaves Big Ten as the conference we are most excited to watch this weekend. Let's get into it. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram. That's where all our stuff is. Go check it out. Buy some merch, too. We got some merch in the links.
Yeah, we have a link tree. Go hit that. Has everything you need to follow us and see what we're doing. But it's been a pleasure of a ride so far.
Yes, thank you.
Let's keep it going.
Thank you all for joining. First conference, the Northeast Conference. Mike, you so elegantly described what it's like to watch the Northeast Conference. But there's some dogs in here. You can't say enough about how much these kids just love lacrosse. And here's to set the stage. LIU versus Robert Morris is one semifinal. This is at Lemoyne, too. Lemoyne is hosting the conference tournament as the regular season champion. LIU versus Robert Morris. Detroit Mercy versus Lemoyne in the other game. Who you guys got winning? Give me Lemoyne.
Yeah, I would love to see Lemoyne win this. I think Robert Morris is probably the betting favorite, but again, this is actually a pretty competitive conference tournament. LIU is a good team, so I don't know. I would bet on Robert Morris to win this, but it would be great to see Lemoyne, win a conference championship in their second year of D1 lacrosse.
Robert Morris they are the betting favorite. They're plus 140 to win it. And that's just to open a can of worms.
So on DraftKings, you can go and bet all the conference winners.
Every single one.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Mike, go ahead. Your prediction here.
I'm with Vegas. I'm going Robert Morris. I think it's going to be Lemoyne and Robert Morris. And as I mentioned earlier, Lemoyne just beat Robert Morris in OT, and it's hard to beat a team twice.
Yep. Good for Detroit Mercy, too, getting into that tournament. Struggle program, but good for them getting to play in a conference championship.
The NEC is a dense conference. Just getting to the Final Four teams there is a big accomplishment. So all those teams are good. All those teams can win games.
Watching film at Hobart, again, of LIU, and you get Long Island commentary during the raw film that you're watching for scouting or whatever. And right before a backside skip on Man Up, this guy's like, "How's your mother on the backside?" The Long
True
Island
story.
accent I can't do. Next conference, the ASUN. This is at Jacksonville. The semifinals are on Friday. Championships on Sunday. 2 games: Bellarmine versus Utah, and then Air Force versus Jacksonville. A lot of names there you've paid attention to all year long. We were high on Utah at the beginning of the year. I mean, obviously beating Ohio State, yeah, but watch some of their games too against teams like Delaware and Syracuse just because it's a great place to play a lacrosse game. Good broadcast too. But the tournament's at Jacksonville, which is pretty cool. I think that's a sick place to have a conference tournament.
No, that's cool. I'll speak on this quick because I brought up the ASUN as my second to least favorite conference tournament to watch. This is an odd conference, right? The 4 top teams, one's in Florida, one's in Kentucky, one's in Utah, and one's in Colorado. Talk about diversity. But I think the reason why I'm not very excited to watch this is because I haven't really watched a lot of these teams play at all this year. Jacksonville's 9-4. They're a good team. I think we were high on Utah. Utah's got a great coach in Andrew McMinn, former nail gun of the week. I think week 0 nail gun, or week 2 or 3 or whatever it was after they beat Ohio State. But I just don't think either any team that wins this conference tournament is going to go into the NCAA tournament and win a game. So obviously it's great for these teams to win a conference tournament. I think Utah will be the team on top just because they've done it before. They have a great head coach, and I see them coming out of it.
They're the betting favorite too. They're minus 160 to win it.
Yeah, that would make sense. I think Jacksonville's a good team and could do it since they're hosting. And that's a long road trip for all the other teams. So keep an eye on it. But I expect Utah to come out of there.
Agreed, Mike.
Give me Utah. Same hypothesis as last one. I think Air Force and Utah go to the championship. Air Force just beat Utah by 1. I think Utah beats them the second time.
It's a diverse conference for sure. Third championship, the MAC. the Heart Attack Maction, whatever you want to call it. The quarters already happened. The semis are going to be at Sacred Heart. Those are on Thursday. Quinnipiac beat Canisius 12-10 in the quarterfinals. Marist beat Manhattan 7. So semis, we got Sacred Heart versus Quinnipiac, and then Marist versus Siena in this one. Sacred Heart's playing at home, the betting favorite in this conference. Oh, they don't have odds for the MAC. That sucks.
It's got to be Sacred Heart.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think Sacred Heart is probably the most complete team in the MAC, but Siena is actually a pretty solid team. They had the MAC Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and Pratt Reynolds, who's a stud. They had the Rookie of the Year, Logan Bannock, at the Face-Off X, who was also first team all conference. Siena is a pretty electric team, and they've flown under the radar, but they're a team that's kind of been climbing in the last few years, is in a good position to win this MAC championship. So again, like another dense conference. I think the finals will be Siena versus Sacred Heart, but I wouldn't be surprised if Siena wins this one.
Mike, agreed there?
Yeah, I'm taking Sacred Heart. I think it's their conference to lose, but Siena's hot. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. And Sacred Heart's 11-2 on the year and 7-1 in conference. So I agree. I think it's going to be those two, but I think Sacred Heart pulls it out.
I'd be afraid to see Siena in the NCAA tournament.
It would be.
Yeah, it's definitely winner of that'll be in the play-in game for sure. Next conference, we have the American East. This one is at Bryant University. It's a Thursday semifinal round. We got Bryant versus Binghamton, Albany versus UMBC, and the favorites on DraftKings is not there. It's not on DraftKings. But Bryant, we haven't talked about them a lot, but I think they're have one loss in conference. They're having a great year. They're on a revenge tour too. They missed the conference tournament last year after having a great season. See if they can bring it home at home. I don't know. Mike, what do you think? You've definitely paid more attention to this conference than most this spring.
I mean, it's funny you say that because my first thought was I feel like I know nothing about these teams. It's funny you say that. It's just one of those conferences where you look at Bryant, Binghamton, Albany, and UMBC. They're always solid teams. And Binghamton maybe less consistent, but they just made it in with a win over Vermont. I think it was a win and in scenario for both Vermont and Binghamton. So I picked Bryant, but it's one of those scenarios too where, Dan, we've been there where you're in a win and in scenario. You're kind of riding a high and you're thinking we just made this tournament. Like, why not us? And it's just one of those conferences where anyone can win. Albany, UMBC is always a solid team.
Yeah. UMBC 5-1 in conference. That's just, you don't think of them being at the top of that.
It's under the radar.
League. Yep.
I mean, just looking on ChatGPT, Bryant's won their last 5 games. Albany's won their last 4. I think that's why I'm seeing Albany so much, because they're just winning and there's flash and there's highlights.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I would expect the final in this tournament to be Albany versus Bryant.
Yeah.
Albany, Silas Richmond is probably the best player in that conference, and he's been pretty good this year for Albany. They've had a little bit of a down year, but they do have a tradition of going to the NCAA tournament and winning some games. So I think Scott Marr has the experience to do it. Bryant's got a young head coach. Not to say that he isn't capable of bringing this team to, the NCAA championship, but I think Albany's a little more experienced. I think they're a little better positioned to win the American East Championship.
Next conference tourney. I like this one a lot. And we're getting to a point now where I'm very excited for this. I'm excited for all of it. The Big East. This is at Villanova. Semifinals are on Saturday. We have Providence versus Villanova. And we have Marquette versus Georgetown. I still can't believe Denver's not in this.
Yeah. Amazing.
It makes it
so
insane.
So streaky, I feel like, though. It's really challenging.
What?
I feel like Denver's just been really streaky.
Yeah, but they're always in the Big East tournament. I want to know the last time Denver hasn't been in this tournament.
Yeah, it's probably been a long time.
This is one of the first times I'm not thinking to myself, okay, it's probably going to be Denver and Georgetown in the championship.
Does Georgetown just continue their reign? Like, do they just win it again?
They're probably thinking right now, this is probably the easiest path we've ever had to winning this tournament. We don't have to go through that Denver wall. Not to say that Villanova, Providence, and Marquette aren't good teams, but Denver just has that history with them. It's an in-conference rivalry that's for a reason. They're always playing for championships.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Georgetown just dominated, who was it? Villanova, too. So they're feeling like, we just took it to the 1 seed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think final in this tournament will be Providence Georgetown. I think Providence goes into Villanova, beats them on their home turf. I like Providence in this. I think that they're a team that's built for May. They're a team with a head coach who has the experience. They're a team that's just built to win big games down the stretch, and they've been streaky this year. They've been good. They've been bad. But I think now that they reached this point, they're going to be in a good position to win. I think Bobby Benson is going to have them ready to go, and they have a lot of senior leadership, a good slew of transfers in there, and they're a team that's just dying to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, the answer is 11 seasons since they joined
Denver. Wow. Since they joined. So they've never missed it.
They've never missed it since 2014.
Yeah.
It's their first
Marquette,
year.
man.
Dude,
Marquette.
Don't sleep on Marquette. I was just looking at their schedule. Obviously, they kind of just snuck in at 2-3 in conference with that win over Denver, but they beat Denver 18-11. The only team that smacked them in conference was Providence, 14-2. Every other game was 1-goal games. They had a 1-goal loss to Villanova, and they had a 1-goal loss to Georgetown. So don't sleep on Marquette. They've competed with these teams.
Wow. It's exciting. It's exciting. The game is growing. The game is healthy in the Midwest. Next conference, we have the A10, the CA tournament. Thursday semifinal games. These are at Towson. First game is Towson versus Hofstra. They just played on Saturday. Then Drexel versus Fairfield. I mean, you look at the 4 teams who we talked about more than any other. Fairfield. But are they the favorite to win it?
Yeah.
Let's look at DraftKings.
Yeah, this is
Thousand
another conference where it's like,
Yeah, they are.
when was the last time Delaware wasn't in the final 4 teams in this conference? But yeah, we've talked a lot about Fairfield. I think we've talked a good amount about Towson. I think Towson is probably the favorite to win this. Playing at home, I believe they're the 1 seed. They're a team like preseason ranked high. They have the guys to win. They're another team like, I think if they come out of it, like Towson or Fairfield, if they get in the NCAA tournament, they could absolutely win a game, maybe 2. I think Fairfield would be the fan favorite to come out of this just because of the season that they've had and how good they've been. And I know a lot of teams would be scared to play them, but I think Towson Fairfield is going to be the final here. I see Towson winning it just because they're Towson and they have that tradition of being in the NCAA tournament, and they're built for it. They have Mikey Weissar, who's a tour and candidate. No other teams really have that. I guess Julian Radishish on Fairfield, but I think Mikey Weissar is a guy that can carry this Towson team as far as they can go.
Good point. Delaware missing this one.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, you mentioned it. Towson's definitely the favorite. And like you said, they were preseason ranked high, and then everyone was kind of out on Towson. Then you forget what they can do in the CAA, and they're on a 7-game win streak. They're 7-0 in the CAA. But I picked Fairfield just based off emotion. I would love Fairfield to win. I would. They have the ability to, but Towson's going to be tough to beat.
Plus 200 to win it, Mike. Fairfield, the CA.
Shouldn't bet with your emotions. Learned that the hard way.
That's right. You shouldn't do a lot of things with your emotions. A10. Atlantic 10 ball. Mm-hmm. That 10 administration's under some heat right now for what happened after the Hobart win over UMass.
Yes,
rightfully
they are.
So. A lot of confusion on who was in, who was out. But this one is at St. Joe's. The semis are on Thursday. The St. Joe's thing was predetermined before the season, as Zach Cole talked about. Semifinal games, UMass versus Richmond. Then High Point versus St. Joe's. I don't think Richmond has any shot of getting an at-large bid. I think they need to win this conference tournament if they want to get in to the NCAAs.
Yeah, they're right on that bubble and probably looking inside, sitting on the outside. Mike, I'll let you talk about this, but like this is when it really starts to get like these are great games. These are great conference tournaments. Must watch lacrosse.
Not on ESPNU or any linear television, as Anish said. This one is on ESPN Plus, but still they do a good job for this tournament.
They do. And I just think this is the 3rd year of the A10. This is the most favorited, I would say, a team is to win it. I don't know what the sportsbook odds are, but I would just say this is Richmond's conference to lose. In past years, it was kind of Richmond and St. Joe's battling it out, right? They're the top dogs, but who's going to win it? This year, it's really Richmond's to lose. But that's not saying that UMass isn't a good team. UMass beat St. Joe's this year. They just lost to Hobart, but they're always a well-coached team. And then you got High Point, who I think they really surprised. They surprised me this year. I think they surprised a lot of people. New coach. They go and beat St. Joe's. They go and beat UMass. They go and beat Hobart. First year under a new coach in the A-10. That's not easy to do. They did just lose to St. Bonaventure to close out the year. I don't know if they weren't playing starters or what happened there, but I can't see that helps any momentum. And they're playing a good St. Joe's team who is very inconsistent this year, but they're talented, and St. Joe's has that roadmap on how to win a championship in the A-10. So I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams test Richmond, but Richmond's going to be in the championship, and they're going to be the team to beat.
Sounded confident. But
hopefully we get a Richmond-St. Joe's championship because, Mike, like you say all the time, it's tough to beat a team twice. Richmond beat St. Joe's just a couple weeks back, so, you never know. And St. Joe's hosting, that's going to be a fantastic game to watch.
Next conference, leaving the Patriot League for after, which I actually love. The Ivy League. The Ivy League tournament, Friday semifinals. This whole thing is at Cornell. Yale versus Cornell in the first game. Harvard versus Princeton in the other game. I was thinking about it on my ride back from coaching today. After I was thinking about my ride, my 6th grade ride, if we're doing the right things, I thought about Harvard. And face value, just if you think about it a little bit, gun to your head, are they at large? Are they going to make the tournament?
No.
In my head, my gut, I'm yeah, they're having a good year. They're going to make it. But I think you're right. I think it's, I don't know. I think they need to. I think they need to. If they beat Princeton, if they get a win against Princeton.
Yeah, I agree. They're probably in.
Yes. All right. Now let's talk about this tournament. Sorry, but that was we can. I mean, now the at-large conversation does come into play with what's happening and what we're about to talk about. Yale versus Cornell, Harvard versus Princeton.
Yeah, no, Dan, that is a good point because with all these conference tournaments, if the favorite doesn't win, it just adds another team to the conversation of who's in the at-large, and that pool can be really small by the end of this weekend, or it can be really big, and that's when great teams get left out, like a team like Harvard if they don't win it.
Bid stealers.
Yes, exactly. But Ivy League tournament, this is going to be 3 great lacrosse games. I think Cornell is going to run past Yale. Harvard, Princeton, great game. Princeton beat Harvard in the regular season. Again, it's tough to win twice. Harvard is absolutely capable of beating Princeton and winning an Ivy League championship. They're that good. I mean, we always talk that Cornell and Princeton are 1 and 2, but Harvard has really closed that gap to being number 3 and being a close number 3. That is fully capable of pulling off an upset here.
Yeah, as far as at large goes, Princeton, Cornell, we can assume are in. And you mentioned it, Yale got beat up by Princeton last week. I just think Cornell's path is so much easier than Princeton's because Harvard could definitely beat them.
Yeah, that's great lacrosse. That's going to be awesome. I think those games are on ESPNU too, which is great that finally the Ivy League's getting some love from linear television. Next conference, the Patriot League. I'm thrilled this one's in the top 3 because I think it always is. But the Patriot League here, the obvious favorite is Army. Hayden's taking BU, I see. But the semis already happened. Colgate beat Lehigh. Lafayette beat Navy. So now your Thursday semifinal games at West Point are Army versus Colgate and BU versus Lafayette. Lafayette, man. What a story.
Yeah.
What a story.
Yeah, really. This is a great tournament. I think on face value, the championship is going to be Army BU. I think I took BU just because the Patriot League, you never know, right? It's one of those conferences where anything can happen. We've talked about it all year. It's an absolute gauntlet. All these teams are good. And just because a team's record isn't as good as the other doesn't mean that they're not capable of winning games. You play a really tough schedule and you're going to get some losses. So all these teams are battle tested against each other. This Army Colgate game, I think we're all going to sit here and say Army's going to run away with this, but it's the Patriot League. Colgate could beat Army, right? Army has a history of losing in the Patriot League tournament, or at least in the Patriot League, to teams that they are better than. And I think Colgate's a team that was really hot at the beginning of the season, a team that's flown under the radar for the last couple of weeks, but a team that can beat Army. So, I picked BU just because I think that they're capable of upsetting Army if they play them, and there's a chance that they see Colgate in the final. So, that's why the Patriot League tournament is ranked this high, is because we don't know what's going to happen. Anything can happen, and just because Army's Army doesn't mean that they're, a guarantee for the Patriot League champion.
Are they in? Is Army in?
I would, if you put a gun to my head, I would say Army is in an at-large situation.
They're 12-1. Their
They got to
losses
beat Colgate.
Mike, I think you're right. I really
they
do
gotta
think
beat
you're
Colgate.
right.
If they lose in the championship to BU or Lafayette, maybe.
Because they'd have 2 losses against a BU. BU is their first loss. It's their only loss right now. And then it would be to either Colgate or BU or Lafayette.
Yeah. And then you got to take into consideration, does the committee view the Patriot League as a 2-bid league? Right? Like, is the A10 a 2-bid league?
No.
Yeah, maybe not. The Patriot League typically is, but, Army's a sure thing, I would say, but, I don't know about BU. Like, BU's definitely getting left out if they don't win it.
Right. They're 10-4. They'd be 10-5 or 11-5 with losses to. Actually, their losses are pretty good. Navy's a bad loss. Lafayette's a bad loss. Not in terms of at large, they're bad losses. But yeah, you think Army gets it done? I was on Instagram. Army has 6 first-team Patriot League players.
Wow.
Can you name them all, Mike? Can you name them all without looking at?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I bet I can.
I'm terrible with names.
Go ahead.
I'm sure you could. You want to
Hill
give it a go?
Plunkett, both Plunketts.
Yep.
Iker,
Yep.
AJ Plott.
Yep.
Goalie Sean Byrne.
Yep.
And their LSM, what is his name? What's his name?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm actually ashamed.
D-mid.
Okay. Yeah. But that's like 7 guys in the first team. Like, that's insane.
It's very impressive.
For a good,
It's just Army.
yeah, it's Army. Like, I'm taking, if all the conference, that would be fun. If all the conferences played each other, Patriot League is just Army. All right. Next tournament. That's a great one. I could talk about that for a while. Next tournament, we got the ACC Friday semis. Charlotte, North Carolina, and Niche is going to be on the call. I think this one's on ACC Network. Syracuse versus Notre Dame. Duke versus UNC. There's almost too much to talk about here. So let's talk about what we know first. I don't know what we know. Are any of these teams guaranteed an at-large? Like, look at the 4 of them. Like, are any of them, like, they're in?
I would
Probably
say
Notre Dame,
Dame. I would say Notre Dame, UNC, and Syracuse. I think Duke is right outside that conversation. But yeah, like, if you win a semifinal game in this, you're in the tournament.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
That's a good
Like,
way to
if
look at
Duke beats UNC, they're in. If Notre Dame beats Syracuse, absolutely in. I think, ACC tournament winner doesn't get an automatic qualifier. We all know that. But the reason that this tournament is ranked so high is because these are 3 fantastic lacrosse games. 3 games, like, you have no idea what's going to happen. Like, no one can say for sure, there's a guaranteed winner. There's a guaranteed championship. Right, all 4 of these teams are capable of winning the ACC, and all 4 of these teams are capable of winning the national championship. So, like, where do you even begin to talk about it? You just got to sit back and enjoy at some point.
You do.
Fair enough.
Mike, same analysis from you. Sit back and enjoy.
Sit back and enjoy, man. It's going to be a really good ball.
Who's your winner? We'll pick winners for this.
Right now,
Yeah.
I'll take Syracuse.
I'm rooting for him.
Same.
I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
We'll have Gary on if they do win. Mike, who you got?
I got Notre Dame.
See that game against Penn this past weekend?
Yep.
Pretty
I did.
tight. Matt Jeffrey looked like he broke his arm, so he's going to be out. And he is an important piece of the puzzle for them.
Brett.
I was thinking UNC, but I'm going to stay with Notre Dame. I think they're going to figure it out, and I think there's just too much on the line for them, really.
Yeah. I think UNC, that's my pick, just because of the Southern summer ball sort of vibe,
And they're like, I love UNC this year.
Yeah.
They're gritty and they're skilled and they're fun to watch.
They're just fun. They're going to follow in the women's footsteps and win the ACC tournament in Charlotte. The last one, the last melon. Thursday semifinals are at Michigan. We got the Big Ten championship. Penn State versus Maryland. Rutgers. We are going to every team. Penn State versus Maryland. Rutgers versus Ohio State. Penn State and Rutgers were the teams that came out of the quarters. Penn State beating Hopkins. Rutgers beating Michigan. Penn State versus Maryland. Both those teams are in the tournament. Rutgers versus Ohio State. Ohio State's in the tournament. Rutgers. They could be a bit stealer,
Rutgers.
but they got to do a lot.
Yeah, they absolutely have to do a lot. I think if Ohio State loses to Rutgers and like a bunch of conference tournaments shake out the wrong way, like Ohio State could be at trouble. I don't think they will be, but like you never know. And what a shame that would be for Ohio State if they don't make it. But yeah, like you said, Penn State, Maryland, almost guarantees. Maryland is an absolute guarantee in the NCAA for an at-large. Penn State is like 99% guarantee. Ohio State, I would say, is like 80% guarantee. I'm assuming everything, doesn't just blow up in their face. But this tournament is just going to be ultra competitive. I don't know. Like, I feel like being crowned the Big Ten champion is kind of a big deal. Like, bigger than most of these other conference tournaments. Like, being the Big Ten championship is almost like, a massive accolade in itself.
Yeah.
All these teams are good. Rutgers has kind of been on a heater recently. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Ohio State. I do think either Penn State or Maryland is going to win the tournament, whoever comes out of that game.
Maryland, the betting favorite.
I also was thinking if Rutgers beats Ohio State and then loses in the championship, I mean, that makes things really interesting for Ohio State too, with that loss to Rutgers. But also, if Rutgers wins it all, it's going to be mayhem with the at-large, which would be fun to see and pretty good for Rutgers. And then I also was thinking, I mean, Maryland just got a tough draw. Ohio State's probably thinking we can beat Rutgers, and then we gotta tackle the elephant in the room with Penn State or Maryland. But I mean, like you said, Penn State and Maryland are locks to be in the tournament. They're both very good teams. I'm picking Maryland. I know we'll get to picks. I'm picking Maryland, but they got to beat Penn State first, and that's no easy task.
Nope. I think that'll be the bigger one because Penn State's been in this position quite a bit. As you said, Hayden, yeah, that's an accolade. Eric Holden, friend of the program, friend of all of us. He's got a nice Big Ten championship trophy plaque or something in his room in
his office,
New York City. Yeah, in his office. That's a pleasure to look at. That's it. I think step downs. None of our bets hit last week, so let's not talk about that. Literally none of them. We went 0 for 4.
Yeah,
the week before, one of them pushed. So on our last 8 bets as a team here, we are 0-7-1.
Pretty good.
Not bad. Not bad.
No, it's bad.
Do you guys want to do your picks for the game for the Big Ten conference?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mike. I like that idea. Big Ten conference. Give me.
What else are you looking at?
The other dog.
You scrolled past
2024
Big Ten picks. I got Maryland.
I will take.
Bless you.
I'll take Penn State.
I'm taking Maryland again.
3 Maryland's there. Wow.
Maryland.
Don't bet against Johnny Tillman.
Johnny
Tills.
Johnny
Tills, man.
friggin' Tillman.
John friggin' Tillman.
Johnny
man.
Thrills.
Johnny Thrills.
I'm with you that I think whoever wins that game wins it. But I think Maryland's going to beat Penn State.
It's a good take. That is the game. And it's all on Big Ten Network, too, which would be great. Hopefully Joe B is back. Although the Capitals are still playing, I think. I know he does the Capitals games, but I think...
Oh, true, yeah.
Let's just pray. Let's just pray he's in the booth.
Step downs.
Step downs. Brett, what do you got?
Notre Dame, -1.5 against Syracuse.
Mike.
I love Binghamton +4 versus Bryant.
I like Providence +1.5 at Villanova in the Big East semi, and I also like Providence to win in the Big East.
I like Binghamton +4 against Bryant in the American East tournament.
Partner up with Mike.
Partner up, man.
Oh, I wasn't listening. I was trying to pick my bet.
You guys can ride with it.
No, that's
who
okay.
cares, man?
I'll switch it up. Mike, you like that one, though, huh?
Double or not? Oh, I love it.
Yeah, me too. I've jumped out of me.
Binghamton lost by Bryant to 1 in the regular season.
They're good. They got a good player.
They got a good guy.
So true, though.
No, they got a good player.
guy.
They got a good player.
I think they got a couple good guys. Drexel. Give me Drexel +2.5 against Fairfield. Fairfield, I don't know. Prove it. Go win a conference tournament.
Do it.
Doesn't matter how good you play in March. Matters how good you play at the end of April and May. All right, y'all. Thank you so much.
It's good. I mean, I think this will be a helpful episode for the players. I think they're going to be like, what's happening around the country right now?
They're not watching film. They're just they're listening to college.
Just like CJ said, they're throwing it on the locker room.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Thank you, CJ Kirst. Thank you, fans. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, lacrosse. Game day's here for the sport we love.